How can you prepare yourself to be strong and ready when opportunities present themselves? Then you need to figure out what your true talents or skills are. By understanding your innate abilities, you may be able to determine what to do in a given scenario and how to apply your abilities to get the desired results. We call them the 10 profiles in our Bazi chart. There are 10 main types of abilities. The key is to understand how to make the most of your Bazi chart and inherent abilities. Once you're aware of this, you may determine whether or not you want to devote time to developing these skills. What makes you happy and what success means to you is not the same for everyone. Your profile defines your sense of accomplishment and purpose in life. If you're having trouble in life, no matter how hard you try or how many sacrifices you make, keep reading to learn how to make the most of your abilities. Since we're entering a new phase from 2024 onwards, the guidelines outlined below will also apply to period 9. Your 10 profiles, healthy or unhealthy. So, what does it mean to have a healthy profile? If your profile is between 50 and 85%, it is considered healthy. It suggests that your profile will tend to be more good than negative. Anything exceeding 85%, on the other hand, may become harmful. Similarly, if your profile is less than 25% or even 0, it is more difficult for you to use those skills. Your profile's strength can fluctuate from year to year. The ones you were born with will be displayed as natal and ranked from highest to lowest percentage. It will, however, vary year to year, as indicated by the term annual. It could make acquiring specific abilities easier if it has a high percentage. Anyhow, it takes time for your skills to develop and mature. Then, the profiles that are least significant to you will be at the bottom of the list. Every person will have a unique profile. We recommend that most newcomers concentrate on their main profile, which is the profile that influences their primary abilities, even if your main profile is 100%. Additionally, we can examine the top 3 profiles in your natal chart. It's because our top 3 profiles are the most straightforward to master. It is something to which we should devote more attention. However, your 4th and 5th profiles can add value to others since they are easy to execute too. The 10 profiles, the technicalities. In a nutshell, how did this main profile come about? Technically, based on your date of birth, we can derive your main profile from the month pillar. Your best ability is determined when we examine the season at its peak and the element that is the peak of the season. Therefore, your best ability or talent is your main profile. The other profiles play an important role in rounding out your abilities and making you a whole person. It's also worth noting that the highest ranked profile may not be your primary main profile. Thus, it can be found in any of the first 3 spots. The performer, herding officer. Our abilities are the only thing that remains true. If herding officer, HO, is your primary profile or one of your top 3, you are more likely to display the traits listed below. Traits, power of influence, marketing, branding. It's all about theatrics for the herding officer, HO. Thus you might want to work on your presentation skills. It all comes down to your capacity to express yourself through your talent or performance. Therefore, you should pursue anything related to marketing or branding because you can influence lives through speaking. You'll also need to learn how to communicate effectively and advertise yourself to others. In addition, you can consider yourself a celebrity who requires attention. As a result, you may attempt to place yourself in the spotlight to improve your speaking skills and inspire others. Once you've mastered the art of speaking, you'll find it easy to get popularity. Career, presentation. At work, you'll need to improve your presentation. Firstly, you must comprehend the presentations, ideas, or customers' goals. You can communicate your proposal to them easily if you grasp their needs and true intentions. Thus, you'll be able to market your idea if you've managed to connect your message with your client's objectives. On the other hand, you can also focus on branding and marketing. You might try to advertise yourself by branding yourself. Brand and broadcast your products and services to others if you have them. Relationship, communication. Those with a low herding officer, HO, may not be discussing what's on their minds or even what the problem is. They tend to avoid direct communication by beating about the brush. If they can't express themselves, quiet animosity may develop, which becomes counterproductive. In some countries, it may be a product of their social upbringing or community, such as a refusal to speak out. Those with a high unhealthy HO, on the other hand, may talk excessively, using harsh words and intonation. When they argue, they shout at each other and try to intimidate one another. As a result, the best method is to communicate appropriately and always strive for effective and fair communication. Your thoughts and speech should be in sync, and you should convey what you mean. You have to avoid any verbal attacks on your loved ones. If you have a stronghold, you will always want someone who communicates well. Wealth, attention. You should master the art of distraction. We call it a distraction since you can attract people's attention to something. You'll be able to hold people's attention. Therefore, you'll be able to make viral films on TikTok, Facebook, or YouTube that can help you or others gain popularity. You can put together a campaign that gets people's attention. Additionally, you can also come up with something contentious unlike anything else. Bonus, the 10 profiles, your winning arena. Now that you learn the potential of your abilities, you can determine which areas you should operate on based on our Bazi chart. The traditional interpretation of our Bazi chart can help us comprehend the following. Year pillar, your network month pillar, your career day pillar, ourselves hour pillar, your children nonetheless. As long as you are doing what you are good at and in the correct job position, you may never be unemployed. The 10 profiles, period 9 strategy. However, when it comes to period 9, these pillars have different meanings. You may be capable of excelling in at least one of the areas since each pillar contains the 10 profiles too. But, if you have the following profiles in the right pillars, it will benefit you greatly. It can appear in the top row, heavenly stem, or the bottom row, hidden stem. Year pillar, attention, R/host/RW. You can use virtual means to attract attention. But, a robust social media presence is required. You can also try to increase the number of people who follow you on social media. Additionally, you must also present yourself nicely and communicate clearly. Month pillar, solution, DW/do/DR. You have the best chance of succeeding in the corporate world. But, you have to determine what your clients' requirements are. If you're self-employed, figure out what your corporate clients are demanding and provide a solution. Day pillar, philosophy, FEG. It refers to your way of thinking, like if you were thinking of creating your own business, comparable to indie businesses. You can work as a freelancer or start a home-based business. Moreover, you may create a niche market for yourself by having your product and services. Our pillar, leverage, IR/7K. You can work on any of the categories that are mentioned above. It's because you're able to bring people together. You can use others to fill in the gaps that people require, even if you don't have the answer yourself. Additionally, you can also be an angel investor,